Hello dear students, welcome to the third module of the research methodology. This is the first lecture of the third module. This module we are going to discuss what we mean by the data collection and what are the methods for the data collection. Okay, so as a research point of view, one of the important elements is the collection of the data, because the collection of the data is always helpful to complete your the project in a systematic way. So it's a very important topic, and how to collect the data and what are the important methods regarding with your the data collection. Okay, and what do you mean by the term is the data collection? As a research point of view, a researcher using the term is the data collection. That means what do you mean by the term is the data collection? As an expert point of view, the data collection means collecting your the data from the different sources. So here the data collection is a systematic approach to gathering and measuring the information from the variety of the sources and to get the complete and accurate picture of area of interest. That means you are collecting the data that is mainly required for your the study and gathering the lot of the informations as a variety of the sources. The process is known as your the data collection, and there is one of the diagrammatic representation of the data collections. That means you are collecting the data from the different sources for your the study. It's enable a person or the organization to answer the relevant question. Suppose as a researcher point of view, the data collections always help to answer the relevant question and also evaluating the outcomes and make the prediction about the future and probabilities and the trend. That means with help of the data we can easily predict the future, what will happen after a few years. At the current scenario, a lot of the studies are conducting the field of the economic slowdowns in the different countries, because the IMF has conducted a lot of study, and Fitch, the rating agency, is conducting a lot of study regarding the economic slowdowns, because the impact of the COVID, it is very important element. That's due to the impact of the COVID, a lot of the economic recession are happening in the different countries. So they're collecting the data about how the economy is impacting these elements. So it's one of the important example regarding your the data collection. Okay, so once again the data collection means it's like a systematic process to gathering and measuring the information of the variety of the sources. And as per the data collection point of view, the first important element is what you mean by this data. The data is the most suitable element of your the research. And what do you mean by this the data? And data means is like raw facts and figures. As a layman point of view, the data means is raw facts and the figures. As a statistical point of view, the data means it is a collecting of the particular element. So here discussing the what do you mean by this data. A data means it's a fact and statistics collected together for the references or the analysis. That means you are collecting the fact and statistics for the reference purpose. The term is known as your the data. It's like maybe the quantities or the characters or symbols or the operation are performed by the computers. So the data is very important element of your study. That whenever you are conducting the research, you must be collect the data. The data may be classified to, that is primary point of view, and there is a secondary point of view. The data can be classified to, the one is the primary sources and another one is your the secondary. And what is the primary and what is your the secondary? So researcher maybe depends upon the primary or the secondary data, and here we are discussing what do you mean by this the primary data and your the secondary data. Okay, so let's go into discuss what do you mean by this the primary and what do you mean by the secondary data. Okay, the first one is your the primary data. A primary data is a types of the data that collected by the researcher directly from the main source. That means it's a first-hand information. The primary data means it's like a first-hand information. The researcher is collecting this information the first time. The term is known as the primary data. So the primary data that is collected by the researcher directly from the main sources. That means we're using a lot of method for collecting the primary data. That means you have the interview, you have the survey, you have the experiment. That is a part of your the data collection method. So that is the first hand information, that is the data collected the first time, that is the original format, that is term is known as the primary data. So whenever you're conducting the study, we must be forced to collect the primary data. Suppose you are conducting study in the field of the consumer satisfaction, so you are using the questionnaire and collecting this primary data. So that is a very important element. That's the original collected data. There's a first hand or the fresh hand of the information. The term is known as the primary data. Okay, that is the first hand information of the study. That is the first hand information collected by the researcher. The team is known as the primary data. Okay, so what are the important advantages of using this primary data, and what are the important advantages and the disadvantages of the primary data? As a current scenario, we are using the team is a primary data. That means you're collecting the first hand information through the interview, you're the questionnaire, you're the schedule or content analysis, experiment, like that. And suppose we're using the primary data, there is a lot of advantages. As well as this is a point of view, as a lot of advantages. And discussing what are the important advantages of the primary data. Okay, the first important advantage of the primary data, investigator collected specific to the problem under the study. That means this method is always help to collect the specific information relating with the study. That means what is your study and what is the statement of problem. This method is always helpful to collecting the specific, that means collecting the data specific to the problem. That means this is first hand information that is always helpful to the researcher. This is the first important advantage, is it always helping the investigator or the researcher. And second one is there is no doubt about the quantity of the data collected. That means there is no doubt of it's the quality of the data collected, because it is collected by the researchers themselves. So it's the first hand information, and this is mainly for the purpose of their own research. So that is a quality is very important element. So as a primary data is always ensuring the quality, so because it is mainly for the research purpose. Okay, that's second important advantage, is there is no doubt about the quality of the data collected. That's second important advantage of the primary data. And third one is, if required, it may be possible to obtain the additional data during the study period. Suppose we are collecting the data at the time of the research, and we can collect the additional data through the form of the primary data collection. That means if required, it may be possible to obtain the additional data during the study period. So that is a very important element, help to collecting the additional data. These are some advantages of using the primary data. The first one is always helpful to the investor's point of view, and there is ensuring the quality of the data, and third, when it can be collecting the additional data. These are the three important advantages of the primary data. So primary data means the data collected by the investigator the first time. There is a fresh hand information. The term is known as the primary data. Okay, and what are the limitations? Then every concept is pros and cons. Let us discuss what are the important limitations and point of view of the using of the second primary data. And the first important limitation, it is a deciding why, what, how, when to collect. Must decide. Without the decision, we cannot collect the right data. So you must be decide for what purpose, when, how, where to collect the data. In the absence of this information, this collection will be failure, maybe failure. So that is the first important limitation, is must be deciding the purpose is essential. That means for what purpose, why, when. That's very important element of the collecting of the data. So some of the researchers are ignoring this factor, and this will lead to a lot of failure in the research problems. Okay, that's the first important limitation, is the deciding the why, what, how, when to collect. And the second limitation is the getting the data collected. That means is a personally or through others. Sometimes there is a personal bias. There's a chance for the personal bias. That means getting the data through the personal contacts. There may be chance for the bias. That is a very important limitation. Like there is a possibility you are collecting the data from the personal, or there is other sources. There's chance for this bias. And third one is getting the fund and dealing with the funding agency. That is getting the fund and dealing with the funding agency, because sometimes the investors, the researchers are depends upon the funding agency and other agency for collecting of the data. And getting the funding and dealing with the funding agency. Sometimes ചിലപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് വരുന്ന ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ലിമിറ്റേഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, ചില സാഹചര്യങ്ങളിൽ നമുക്ക് ഫണ്ടിങ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ ഫണ്ടിങ് ഉണ്ട്, വേൾഡ് ട്രേഡ് ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ്റെ ഫണ്ടിങ്ങോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്റലക്ച്വൽ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ്റെ ഫണ്ടിങ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. ആ ഫണ്ടിങ് വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് വിത്തിൻ ദ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പീരീഡിൽ ആ ഡാറ്റ കളക്ഷൻസ് നടത്താൻ അവർ പറയും. ആ സമയത്ത് നമുക്കത് പോസിബിൾ ആവാണ്ട് വരും. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ നമുക്കതൊരു സ്പെസിഫിക് പീരീഡിൽ ഡാറ്റാസ് നമുക്ക് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കില്ല. That is the third important limitation. There is a chance for the getting fund and dealing with the funding agency. And there's the last limitation is the ethical consideration. That means permission is necessary for collecting the primary data. Suppose you collect this because the primary data is a first-hand information. You are collecting the first person. Yes, you're just collecting the first time. So we need the permission. Sometimes your archaeological purpose, you need the permission from the government because the government is sanction this particular element. So without the permission we cannot collect the data. It's a lot of the restrictions. Even in example, out of the example, Taj Mahal point of view, the archaeological department is very strict. Suppose whenever we are collecting the data, we must require the consent of this archaeological survey of the India. So that's a very important element. So that's the ethical consideration. Okay. So these are the major drawbacks of the primary data, and these are disadvantages of using of the primary data. So advantages and the disadvantages. Okay, then what do you mean by this? What are the important sources of the primary data? Then after this primary data, what are the important sources? And basically three important sources. The one is the personal diaries, the personal documents, and the important. These are the two important elements. The one is the personal diaries. Another one is a personal document. These are two important sources for the primary data. Because they're not important sources. Suppose we can collect the personal diaries and personal documents for collecting the primary. നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ് primary data കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും? മേ ബി ദ പേഴ്സൺ നമ്മളായിരിക്കും ആ ഡയറി ആദ്യമായിട്ട് കണ്ടത്. പേഴ്സണൽ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതെങ്കിൽ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻസ് അല്ലെ. സപ്പോസ് ആസ് എ ഫിലിം പോയിന്റ് ഓഫ് വ്യൂ അല്ലെ, നമുക്ക് നോക്കിയാൽ ചില ഡയറക്ടേഴ്സ് ചില ഓതേഴ്സിന്റെ ഡയറീസ് ഒക്കെ ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം ആയിരിക്കും കാണുന്നത്. അത് വെച്ചുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും അവരത് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ശ്രമിക്കുക. സോ ദിസ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ഹാൻഡ് ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻ. ദീസ് ആർ ദ സോഴ്സസ്, ദ പ്രൈമറി. So the personal and the personal documents and the personal diary. And another one is what you mean by this the secondary data. There is a primary and the secondary. And the firstly we will discuss what you mean by this primary data. And another side is what is the secondary data. Okay, the secondary data means is a data is already published. That means it's a second-hand information. The data is published by some agencies, and we are taking the data from this agency. The term is known as the secondary data. Okay, the secondary data that has already been collected through the primary sources made readily available for the researchers to use for their own research. That means it's a published information. So types that have already collected in the past. That means they've already published and collected element. The type of the data is known as the secondary data. The primary data is a first-hand information, and secondary data, that means all the published documents. And these are the important sources, and as a research point of view, these are the important sources of the secondary data. There may be internal sources, and there is open sources, then it's a published sources, and there is a syndicate sources. These are the important sources for the secondary data. As a primary data point of view, there is a personal diaries and the personal documents. At the secondary data point of view, there is a internal sources and open sources, published and syndicate sources. These are the source of the secondary data. Okay, and what are the advantages and the limitations of your secondary data? So like the primary data, the secondary data has its own limitations and the advantages. Let us go on to discuss what are the important advantages of the secondary data and what are the limitations. And the first important advantage of this the secondary data, the data is already there is no hassles of the data collection because this data is already exist. So it's very easy to collect this secondary data because with like the primary data process it's not like an easy process, and the secondary data is quite easy process because it's already exist. And second one is like expensive, can easily get the data from the different sources. So it's a less expensive process. The secondary data collection is always less expensive. And third one is investigators not personally responsible for the quality of the data. That means because it get the data from some relevant sources. and you were putting the source on the source page, and this were not responsible for the mistakes committed by that source. നമുക്കറിയാം, നമുക്കിപ്പോൾ റിസർവ് ബാങ്ക് ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യ ഒരു ബുള്ളറ്റിൽ നമ്മൾ ഡാറ്റ ഡിപ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ റിസർവ് ബാങ്ക് ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യക്ക് മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് സംഭവിച്ചാൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്കത് നമ്മുടെ തെറ്റായിട്ട് വരുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ നമ്മുടെ ഡാറ്റ ഡിപ്പെൻഡ് റിസർവ് ബാങ്ക് ഓഫ് RBIയുടെ ബുള്ളറ്റിനാണ്. സോ റിസർവ് ബാങ്ക് ഓഫ് ബുള്ളറ്റിൽ നമ്മൾ പ്രകാരമുള്ള ഡാറ്റയാണ് എഴുതുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അതിന് റെസ്പോൺസിബിൾ, തെറ്റുകൾ അതിനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ അതിന് റെസ്പോൺസിബിൾ ആയിരിക്കില്ല. സോ ദിസ് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റിഗേറ്റർ is not personally responsible for the quality of the data. Okay, these are the some advantages of your secondary data. The first one is the data is already exist, and second one is it's less expensive, and third one is investigator is not personally responsible for the quality of the data. Okay, and what are the limitations? Okay, like here the advantages and what are the limitation. The first limitation is the investigator cannot decide what is collected. That means if specific data about something is required for the instance, that means അല്ല നമുക്ക് പലപ്പോഴും ഡാറ്റ കളക്ട് ചെയ്യും, പക്ഷെ അതൊരു ആ പർപ്പസിന് തന്നെ അല്ലേ എന്ന് ചില സിറ്റുവേഷൻ നമുക്ക് ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കും. ഇൻവെസ്റ്റിഗേറ്റർ കനോട്ട് ഡിസൈഡ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് കളക്റ്റഡ്. കാരണം കിട്ടിയിരിക്കുന്ന ഡാറ്റ മാത്രമേ ആക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുള്ളൂ. ചിലപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ റിലേറ്റഡ് ഏരിയ ആയിട്ടുള്ള എൻ്റെ ഡാറ്റ ആയിരിക്കില്ല, കിട്ടിയിരിക്കുന്ന ഡാറ്റ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കുള്ളൂ. സോ ദി ഇൻവെസ്റ്റിഗേറ്റേഴ്സ് കനോട്ട് ഡിസൈഡ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് കളക്റ്റഡ്. That is the first drawback of the secondary data. And another one is one can only hope that the data is good quality. It's only the hope is good quality. The quality, suppose like the primary data, it's always ensuring the quality. And secondary data, there is a hope. There may be good quality. That means there's a protection. That's another drawback of the secondary data. And third one is obtaining the additional data. You must obtain the additional data about something is not possible. നമുക്ക് നേരത്തെ അഡീഷണൽ ഡാറ്റയ്ക്കുള്ള പ്രൊവിഷൻസ് പ്രൈമറി ഡാറ്റയിലുണ്ട്, പക്ഷേ ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് അഡീഷണൽ ഡാറ്റ ഒബ്റ്റെയിൻ ഡാറ്റ ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് പോസിബിൾ. നമുക്കത് പെട്ടെന്ന് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കില്ല. അഡീഷണൽ ഡാറ്റാസും കിട്ടിയിരിക്കുന്ന പബ്ലിഷ്ഡ് ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സും മാത്രം നമുക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുള്ളൂ. അല്ലാത്തൊരു ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻ കൊണ്ടുവരാനായിട്ട് ഇവിടെ സാധിക്കില്ല. ദീസ് ആർ ദ ഡ്രോബാക്സ് ഓഫ് the secondary data. Once again, the first one is investigator cannot decide what is collected. This is only hope there is a good quality, and third one is obtaining the additional data. There is maybe not, it's not possible, and these are the limitations regarding the secondary data. And what are the sources of the secondary data, like the primary data, and what are the important sources? A source, the source can be classified with different angle. One is a book, another one is a published source, unpublished personal sources, journal, newspapers, website, blogs, the government records. These are the important sources of the secondary data. We already explained the meaning of the secondary data. Secondary data means the published information. A researcher is using secondary data from the published sources. Let us discuss what are the important published sources of the secondary data. The first one is the books. We are using a lot of the books, like the different publication from the different publication. So the book may be the published one. You are collecting the data from certain books, that is treated as your secondary data. So books are one of the important, most traditional way of the collecting the secondary data. It's a traditional format. Suppose searching the books of the reputed, or like the James Keynes, or the macroeconomic theory, the employment theories, you are collecting the particular books of the certain person. So that is a book is collecting treated as one of the important secondary sources. And another one is a published sources. That means whatever other publication which are published by company or institution or the writer, these are already available. That means the authenticity of data generated from these sources depends majorly on the writers and publishing company. Suppose like a publishing company is publishing certain element to the public, you're collecting the information from this published document. The term is known as the published sources. That means you're collecting secondary. So the secondary button is the published sources. The first one is a book, and another one is unpublished personal sources. That means they only become accessible if the researcher share with another researcher who is not allowed to share it with third party. അല്ലെ, നമുക്ക് പലപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. നമ്മൾ റിസർച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്ന കണ്ടത്തിന്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് ചില ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻസ് കിട്ടുന്നു, അത് നമ്മൾ വേറെ റിസർച്ചിനോട് കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾക്ക് അത് കിട്ടും, ഒരു കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് അത് കിട്ടുന്ന സെക്കൻഡറി എലമെൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണ്. കാരണം അത് പേഴ്സണൽ സോഴ്സിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്നതാണ്, പക്ഷെ അതൊരിക്കലും പബ്ലിഷ്ഡ് അല്ല. പക്ഷെ വേറെ ആൾ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മൾ കേൾക്കണതാണ്. അപ്പം പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല, പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് നിങ്ങൾ ഡിസ്ക്ലോസ് ചെയ്യണം അല്ലേ. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ ദാറ്റ് മേ ബി ദ അൺപബ്ലിഷ്ഡ് പേഴ്സണൽ സോഴ്സസ്. ദേ only become accessible if the researcher share with another researcher who is not allowed to share it with third party. Okay, so that is another important. And another one is journals. I recently, we as a research point of view, as a force to collect the different journals. The journals have certain impact factors, the Scopus index. This is a part of the journal. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്കറിയാം ഒരുപാട് നല്ല ജേർണൽസ്, അപ്പോൾ നല്ല ജേർണൽസ് നമ്മൾ കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ ശ്രമിക്കും. ദ ജേർണൽ ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ പബ്ലിഷ്ഡ് വൺ അല്ലെ. ജേർണലും പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ കോപ്പി റൈറ്റ്സ് ഒക്കെ എഴുതി കൊടുക്കാറുണ്ട്. കാരണം അത് നമുക്കറിയണം, കാരണം അത് അവർക്ക് എക്സ്ക്ലൂസീവായിട്ട് ആ പബ്ലിഷറിന് കിട്ടുന്ന കോപ്പി റൈറ്റ്സ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിലത്തെ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ് പിന്നീട് ആൾ കോട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അത് നമ്മൾ സോഴ്സ് വെക്കേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും. ഓക്കെ, അതുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ജേർണൽസിന് ഒരു ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻസ് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ സോഴ്സിലൂടെ കോട്ട് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ശ്രമിക്കാറുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ജേർണൽ ഇസ് അനദർ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് സെക്കൻഡ് സോഴ്സസ്. Another one is newspapers. Your daily newspapers, daily morning dailies are one of the important example regarding your the secondary source, because collected a lot of information from your newspapers. Like the Times of India, ഒരുപാട് ന്യൂസ്പേപ്പറിൽ വരുന്ന ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്സ് നമുക്ക് ചിലപ്പോൾ നമുക്കൊരു റെലവെന്റ് ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻ ലഭിക്കും. അത് ഓൾറെഡി പബ്ലിഷ്ഡ് ആയിരിക്കും. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വൺ ഓഫ് ദി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് എലമെന്റ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ദ ന്യൂസ്പേപ്പേഴ്സ് ആർ ദ വൺ ഓഫ് ദി അനദർ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് സെക്കൻഡറി സോഴ്സസ്. Another one is the websites, the government websites or the company websites. Another blogs. Blogs are created by a certain person for the authentic purpose. We're collecting the information from certain blogs. And last one is the government records. It's like the Statistical Survey of India, the Reserve Bank of India, and different government records. നമുക്ക് അതിൽ നിന്നൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് ഗവൺമെന്റ് റെക്കോർഡ്സിൽ നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് ലഭിക്കും അല്ലേ. സപ്പോസ് ദ ഗവൺമെന്റ് ബോഡീസ് ഇസ് എ വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് എലമെന്റ്. കാരണം അവിടെ നിന്നൊക്കെ പലപ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് ഡാറ്റ കിട്ടിയോടെ നമുക്ക് എഴുതാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും. Okay, the government records are very important and authentic source of secondary data. They contain the information is useful for the marketing management, humanities and social science research. Okay, so these are the important secondary sources. First books, then published sources, unpublished sources, channels, newspapers, websites, the blogs and the government record. These are the important secondary sources. Okay, and finally, what are the important methods for the data, primary data? And this chapter is purely focusing on what are the important methods for collecting the primary data. The secondary data is easily collected because there are a lot of the published elements are available in the society. And suppose you are a researcher, and what are the important methods opted by the researcher for collecting the primary data? As a statistical point of view, these are the important methods for the primary data. There is observation, and there is experimentation, simulation, interview, use of telephones, panel method, mail survey, the projective techniques, sociometry, focus group, and the content analysis. And these are the important methods for the primary data. Okay, what is an observation? And the next lecture we will discuss these methods in detail. And I just describing these terms. What is an observation? Observation, what's the process of observation? That means it's a primary data point of view. Observation, very important element. That means watching a particular person without the interaction. That is known as the observation. And experimentation, scientific experimentation. And simulation, the simulation models, Monte Carlo simulation techniques. Interview, that means there is a face-to-face interaction between the persons. And use of the telephone and panel methods. And that means expert opinion, mail survey, sending the questionnaire through the mail, the projective techniques, that means psychological analysis, sociometry, that means social relatedness within the group, and group discussion and content analysis. These are the important primary methods used for your the data collection. Okay, as a researcher point of view, we are using a different method, and this diagrammatic representation is a part of the PhD assistance. And we are using a lot of the primary methods here, that interview and survey, statistical method, Delphi techniques are the very important elements of the primary data. Okay, so let me conclude. The first we discuss what you mean by the data collection. The data collection is one of systematic process of the collecting of the data from the different sources. That term is known as the data collection. As a research point of view, the data collection is a very important element. And the data collection, what is the data? The data means the raw facts and figures. It's logically recorded. And the data may be classified to the one is a primary point of view, another one is a secondary sources. And the primary data means is a first-hand information. Researcher collected the information first time, that is known as the primary data. These are the advantages and the limitations of the primary data. And what are the important source of the primary data? The personal diaries, the personal documents are the important source of the primary data. And secondary sources means, what is secondary data? Secondary data means which the data is already published. We get the data from the published source. The same is known as the secondary data. These are the different sources of the secondary data: the internal, open access sources, published sources, syndicate sources, the different sources of the secondary data. And these advantages and the limitations. And these are source of secondary data. There's a books, the published source, and published, personal, and the channel, newspaper, website, blogs, the government records, all the important source of the secondary data. And these are the methods of the primary data. And the methods include the first important, the observation, experimentation, simulation, interview, telephone panel method, mail survey, the project techniques, sociometry, the focused group, and the content analysis. Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for watching me.